The present land use is a 4-unit dwelling and a garage. So the proposed use, again, the existing building will be kept. The existing garage, however, will be demolished, and in that general area, there will be a new building with 8 units, 4 of which will be affordable and 4 at market rent. All units as proposed at this point are to be 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom units with direct outside access, so no hallways. Each unit will be approximately 900 square feet. This is according to the applicant's concept proposal. The approximate building footprint is 112 feet by 36. Any potential development, if the proposed building changes at all, it would still be subject to the R4 zoning regulations, as well as the other general regulations and those for parking. These are some site photos taken in December before the file was heard by the PRAC. This is looking into the subject property from King George Highway. You can see the existing 4-unit in the foreground there. The accessory building is towards the rear. This is looking along the the north side of the subject property, looking from the corner of the highway on-ramp and King George Highway. So this is the DTI right-of-way. This is looking across the street at the retail plaza and the Dairy Queen and Bowling Center. This would be looking west along King George Highway, southwest. This is looking east along King George Highway towards the Kingsway restaurant across that intersection there. This is a sample floor plan sent to us by the applicant, so you can see the conceptual layout of the proposed units there, and conceptual elevation plan from the applicant. So in the site plan demonstrates the approximate location of the parking spaces as well as the building footprint overlaid on the property map.
Confirm that the intention is not written in stone to split it 4 and 4.
Potentially the developer could speak to that here tonight, but you know, the way it's written now, it could be just 8 units market rent, 8 units affordable.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to understand. Thank you.
Yeah, the disbursement between the two is not part of the motions. Yeah. Councillor Summers.
Thank you, Your Worship. My question's just, there was no written letters of objection. I think it was in our management report within the 30 days of the public presentation. Is that correct?
Because this is strictly a rezoning, there was no public presentation required.
Gotcha.
So from the first advertisement, we waited the 30 days, and we haven't received any letters of objection.
Understood. And I guess whenever we have a potential rezoning like this, do we also, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but do we have an obligation, I guess I'll call it, to, I believe we provide written notices to people within a certain radius. I know we've had these conversations before on Old King George Highway and whatnot. And I guess I'm only alluding to Blackmore Street, which is essentially parallel to the potential development. Were those people notified as well?
I'll handle the first part of the question. It's not a legal requirement of the Act, but it is a practice that councils make clear that they wish staff to employ, and staff does send the letters out. The Act requires publication on the website, okay? And as to whether they were sent out, I'll defer to the clerk.
I'm not sure what the specific Blackmore Street was. It was any property within 100 meters of that zone, so it would be wherever the circle would fall, but there was definitely letters sent out to the adjoining landowners.
Thank you, Councillor. Oh, sorry.
To clarify, when I do look at it, yes, the folks on Blackmore Street were notified.
So, seeing no further lights on for any further questions, I'll review the next steps in the process. Comments made tonight will be considered by council moving forward. Only those councillors who are in attendance at this public hearing shall be entitled to vote on third reading and enactment, and council will determine at a special council meeting on March 26th, 2024, whether to give second reading by title, reading in entirety, third reading by title, and enactment of bylaw number 110-27.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move whereas Kirby O'Donnell has applied to amend Schedule A, zoning map of the City of Miramichi zoning bylaw number 110 to change the zoning designation from medium density AR3 to medium density BR4 for the subject property described as PID 40166266, located at 362 King George Highway in the City of Miramichi, to allow the demolition of an existing garage to construct a second building, 8-unit apartment building with 4 units of affordable housing and 4 units at market rent price. Whereas, City Council wishes to impose reasonable terms and conditions upon said rezoning, if it is granted, be it resolved that any rezoning of PID 40166266 granted in response to the above noted application be subject to the following terms and conditions pursuant to Section 59 of the Act. 1, that a 2.5 meter variance be granted to the side yard requirement of the R4 zone to allow for construction of the proposed apartment building to within 0.5 meters of the north side property line.
Thank you, Councillor. Look for a seconder on this motion as well. Councillor DePlacy on the question. Councillor Summers.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think it's admirable that this applicant is trying to create more housing within the city, but I can't, in good conscience, support these motions this evening for multiple reasons. First one being, having driven by that property quite a few times over the last number of years or weeks or whatever you want to call it, I can't see for the life of me how an 8-unit apartment building is going to fit on that property that already has a 4-plex, I believe it is, on it at the front of the road on the King George Highway. I know it's got to this point, so clearly it must have passed the planning test, I guess, but I can't see on a property that's less than a half an acre in total how they're going to add another 8-plex in behind the current 4, even if they are tearing down that old garage at the back of it. It doesn't seem feasible to me, at least from the naked eye, driving by, how that's even going to work. I don't know about the traffic concerns. I know it's only 8 units, so maybe that's a moot point, but I just don't see it, what was projected to me on a document here, actually fitting on that property. I can't see it. But other than that as well, I mean, it's, for me, a matter of having driven by there an hour before I came to council this evening and seeing the current property that's owned by the same developer, or the person that's proposing this, with piles of bags of garbage and recyclables and debris all over the property, which is fairly consistent with some of the other properties that this particular individual owns in our city. So truthfully, I respect the wishes of council. Everyone's entitled to their vote. That's why they sit here. But when I drive by and see that, I don't have a whole lot of faith that what I saw in a nice little projection is actually going to appear if this goes through. So, I mean, that's my biggest concern, is that the track record with this particular applicant leads to a lot of unsightly complaints within our city. I'm just fearful that this will lead to another one. Hope it doesn't. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Seeing no other folks looking to speak, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And the fourth motion, Councillor Johnston.